Hello, Hitler's Gaming here, bringing you a video today. The subject is going to be command ships, what they do. I'm not going to give you the hard numbers, but I am going to explain the tools, which command ships to use when, and like what each one does. So we're going to kind of go over the basics, but I'm not going to go over like all the details of percentages and all that. I will go over like what things mean and why things are important, but I'm not going to go over every single little detail of them. With that out of the way, yesterday in the video that I made, it has been 24 hours since that video came out. I told you guys that if the video hits 50 likes within 24 hours, that I would tell you guys a story about my cat. And you guys hit 90 likes in less than 24 hours. So you guys blew that completely out of the water. And in return, instead of just telling you guys a story in the next video, we are going to make an entire video on it with the help of Nervicio. We're going to make sure that we get pictures of them as kittens and hopefully a little bit of footage when they were younger. And I'm going to tell you the whole story about what has happened with them and just kind of who Nika is and who Chica is, which is Nika's sister that's never seen on the stream. Anyways, without further ado, here is your video on command ships. Post-production Hateless here, again, early in the video. I will have provided in a link below the Eve Uni wiki page that I leaned on heavily to do this page properly. Big thanks to Eve Uni. They do help me without actually helping me with their Eve wiki pages, which are incredibly helpful for making these videos. Make sure to give them support as well. But they are the Eve Uni page that I used for this video will be linked below in the description. Today we have an example of Michaela. This is a command ship. I can't remember which one it is because it's a damnation, right? Big boop's a damnation. Command ships do one thing and one thing really well. They make everybody else in the fleet stronger. They're basically the Bards of Eve Online. They don't do damage. They just kind of make everybody better. And they are a critical role when you start getting 3 or more pilots together, because the increase in tanking ability for armor and shields is roughly 50% stronger, so that they break even at the survivability metric at about 3 or 4 pilots. They start becoming worth it to use. They're very cool. They're very flexible. All battle cruisers can use command bursts. And then all the command destroyers can use command bursts, as well as the Porpoise, Orca, Raquel. And then there's a bunch of capital ships that can use them as well. Today we're going to be talking about subcapitals, mostly the basics of it, not specific fits and usages, but general fits and or general usage and stuff. So we're going to start by kind of showing how they work. I guess we'll go across the skills first. There's a set of skills. I actually had to make notes for this. Leadership, Wing Command, and Fleet Command in the leadership skill make it so that the area of effect when you use a command burst is larger. So that means when I activate my command burst here, if I train the skills, these bubbles will be larger. These bubbles are the effect of the range. Any ship that is in my fleet and also, or in my fleet and in the range of that bubble will get the effect whenever I activate them. So that is leadership, wing command, and fleet command. There is another skill, the command spec, command specialization. So if we go fleet command burst specialist, this one right here, reduces the module reload time. And a fun fact is all command bursts last 2 minutes. So if you activate a command burst, it's 2 minutes long. And then the cycle time is about 1 minute long. And then the reloads vary from an entire minute or 2 minutes to 1 minute. So if you have your skills trained properly, when you reload, the fleet won't drop their commands or their bursts. Or if you reload or change commands, you can actually do the thing. Anyways, I just reloaded them all. It's going to take 30... Sorry, reloads start at a minute and they get down to 30 seconds. So in theory, I could rotate through like 2 of them on one command burst if I was like being super fancy on it. That's difficult to do, so generally people will run all the command bursts that they want on the initial ship. So that's it on the skills for the actual like operating the command bursts. You need that command burst specialist skill and fleet command as well to make the bubble bigger, and then the command burst specialist that allows you to reload it faster. There are 4 sets of skills for command burst. There is information, armor, shields, and skirmish. Each of these have 2 variants, being the armored, or for example, armored command and armored command specialist. The first one makes it so that the duration of, sorry, I am correcting myself over and over here. The duration of the burst is increased by 10% by level, so 50%. So I guess it would be like 1 minute and 20 seconds would be base, and then when you train this to 5, the burst would last for 2 minutes. It's almost required that you have this to 5 to operate Tech 2 command burst, so it's kind of a mandatory skill to get it to 5, so that's why I was under the impression that it was all 2 minutes, because every command burst that I've ever activated has been 2 minutes, and anyways, you don't really use these skills unless they're 5, because generally fleet commanders don't want them unless they're 5, but for your personal use, you may find less than ideal works for you. So that gives it to the time, and then the specialist skill adds to strength, and it's 10% strength per skill level. So you get a 50% increase in the strength. Most command bursts start at a base of 8%, and they max, or the shielding and armor ones start at 8%, and they max at 22.5. So that gives you a spread of like how much you can do to increase percentages. With that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and crack down the list of, we're going to hit Alt-R here, and we are going to look at ammunition and charges. And I want to go down the command burst charge list. There are several different charges, and I actually made sure to go through and check what they all do before this video. So I have them all listed. If we go into armor command bursts, we have 3 chargers. Energizing increases your resists. Reinforcement increases your rep rate without hurting your capacitor. It reduces the cycle time and gives you a capacitor use bonus. Sorry, that is rapid repair that I just described. Rapid repair will give you the faster repair rate with the reduced cap usage per repair. And then reinforcement increases overall HP. Information command links. The electronic hardening charge does information. Electronic hardening increases your sensor strength from 9% to 25%, and then also gives you sensor strength resistance from 18 to 50%. The electronic superiority charge will increase electronic warfare modules range and strength from 9 to 25%. The sensor optimization charge, which is the third one here, will increase your scan resolution by 9% to 25%, and targeting range bonus by 18 to 50%, again, depending on skills. For the armor ones, it is 8 to 22.5. For the mining boosts, I'm assuming that I'm looking at subcapitals here, but it may include recoil boosts. Mining equipment preservation makes the mining crystal volatility bonus from 15 to 57%, so it makes your mining crystals last a lot longer. The mining laser field enhancement charge makes it so your mining / survey module range bonus is increased from 30 to 114%. So if you're using a survey scanner to scan your rocks, it would increase that. And then the mining laser optimization charge increases the duration and capacitor use bonus, so it reduces the duration of your mining cycle time. So each cycle you mine so much, and then at the end of the cycle you get your ore. This makes that cycle less, thus making you mine faster, then also making it so that you use less capacitor. And also, the mining laser field enhancement also increases miner laser field range, or mining laser range, meaning that instead of mining at 15 kilometers, you might be able to mine at 114% bonus, so you'd be able to mine all the way to 30, which is insane. And then the duration on the mining duration and capacitor use is from 15 to 57%. It's a very wide range there. I'm guessing because rock walls exist. And then on the shield links, we have, sorry, I accidentally closed that. We have active shielding, which is 8 to 22.5% on the repair rate. Shield extension increases your shield HP from 8 to 22.5, and shield harmonizing increases your shield resistance, again, from 8 to 25%. Lastly, but definitely not leastly, one of my favorite bursts that's actually not on this ship is Skirmish. We have Evasive Maneuvers Charge, which reduces your signature radius and increases your agility from 6 to 16.8%. And again, those two things stack to mitigate damage for signature tank ships, and they also allow you to line faster. It's a very powerful module. The Introduction Maneuvers Charge will increase your range of Webifier, Scrams, and Tackle, which is incredibly useful in both PvE and PvP. And then Rapid Deployment, the Introduction Maneuvers percentage is between 12 and 33%. And Rapid Deployment charges give you 12 to 33%. So how these work is in your fitting window here. You're going to get a command information command burst. It's a module, and then you put the charges in the modules. So there's information, mining, foreman, and armored. You get the type, and then you put the specific thing into it, the charge for the burst that you want, the specific effect that you want into the burst. So my example here is I have 2 in information and 2 in armor. These are designed to give additional EHP. So we have armored command bursts, armor reinforcement, and energizing, which if I turn these on, will give me a nice healthy HP bonus. And then the other one is sensor optimization and electronic hardening, which will increase my lock range from 87 to a Nutter's 129, give me additional sensor strength, and give me E-war resistance, meaning that I'm harder to jam. So this is for buffer fit remote armor reps, but we only have the sensor strength here rather than everything. So it's kind of a little bit of both, not specialized all the way into armor, not specialized all the way into information, but it gives me what I need to run my Snipey Boys fleets, which is what we do for anti-trig. These are the bonuses that are the most helpful to that fleet. The ships that you use to do these, so depending on the burst that you want, you would want different ships. If you are looking for armor, you can fly both Amar and Galente, give armor bonuses for the command ships. And then the Kaldari and Mimitar give shield bursts. And then if you're looking for information, it's Amar and Kaldari give information, and then Mimitar and Galente give skirmish. And I believe this holds to the philosophy of each of the 4 factions and kind of how they behave on grid. Galente and Mimitar tend to be faster, so they have skirmish boost, and Kaldari and Amar tend to be bulkier and slower, so they have information they can lock better, they have longer ranges, and that kind of makes sense. The ships that we generally use for command bursts, again, there's 2 variants of command ships in every single, or for every single race. And if I go ships here and we click on command ships, Amar has the Absolution and the Damnation. And then Kaldari have Nighthawk Vulture, Galente have Astarte and Eos, and Mimitar have Claymore and Slipnir. They are pretty much identical, except, or command burst wise, except one gives a 4% bonus and one gives a 3% bonus per skill level. So the Damnation has 3% bonus in strength, whereas the absolution gets 4. So instead of getting 22.5, I get 21.5%. Or 21.6. So I can get a little bit better boost by flying an absolution instead of the damnation, but there's a trade-off, and that is that the damnation's range is a little bit better than the other ones. What was it? The absolution. So the ones with the slightly lower percentage have a bigger area of effect, and the ones with the lower percentage have stronger strength. And they wanted to add the reason that exists is they wanted a discernment between the two command ships for each race, and then there's only one command ship for each of the destroyers. So that's kind of where that is. The other thing that we want to talk about here is actually fitting these guys up. Every single ship that can use a command burst charge has a hard limit on how many bursts they can actually fit, so you don't put 6 of them up onto, so I don't just fill all the slots up, because then we do 3 and 3 and there'd be no compromises, we'd have everything. By standard, command ships get 1, and regular battle cruisers get 1, and then command ships get 2. And because they get 2, they're twice as effective at doing command bursts. They also get the command burst bonuses. Also, there's a rig that you can use called command processors that will allow you to fit more command bursts on your ship than what you had previously. So for this example here, I have 4 command bursts, so I need 2 of these command processors to have all 4 of them. There is one more thing that you can do that's really important to understand, and that is that there's implants which help them. The implants require really high skills to use, but in implants and skill hardwiring in slot 10, we have fleet support in slot 10, and there's a bunch of these. The standard armored and like the one kind thing does the same bonus as the 2 kind things, or the faction ones. But for example, the information command burst gives 25%, whereas if we look at the Imperial Navy Mind Link, it gives 25% to both information and armor. So depending on your needs, you might want to use a faction link or a regular link. But the faction links are basically in line with their racial profile. So for example, the Amar, the Imperial Navy Mind Link, gives armor and information, and this character actually does have a Imperial Navy Mind Link in her head to make these implants, these boosters, better. That is, I think, everything that I wanted to talk about, except for one little note. I know that 22% does not sound like a lot, or 21% does not sound like a lot, but how this works is these are cumulative with each other. And so when command bursts stack with each other and give each other the same effects, so for this one we have effectively a 22.1% to both our resistance and our armor HP. The effect is, if we go to our calculator, it's pretty silly, but if we go 1.216, which is multiplication of 1.216, and we multiply this again by 1.216, which is our percentage, this 21% effect is not actually 21% more EHP. They actually multiply together and give us 47% more EHP. We can observe this in that our HP right now is 151, whereas before our burst it was like 105 or something. I don't know if you guys saw. You guys can go rewatch the video to absorb the information a little bit better. But you saw my HP went up by quite a bit more than 20% when I activated these hardeners, or not hardeners, but when I activated these units. There is one other thing that should be mentioned when talking about command bursts. Anytime you activate a command burst, and this beeping that you're hearing right now is a weapons timer, you get weapons timers for activating command bursts, and the weapons timer lasts for an entire minute after using your command bursts. So you cannot take gates, you cannot dock, you cannot go through wormholes, you cannot do anything that a weapon timer restricts you from. But using the command burst does give you a weapons timer, and making sure that if you are flying a command ship, when the FC says to drop command bursts, that you make sure you get them turned off, or you will get separated from the fleet, and that is a big deal. So yeah, that's the command ship video. There's 8 command ships. They're probably the hardest ships to train into skill-wise, because not only do you need the fleet support skills, but you also need the racial spaceship command as well. So for this one, the Amar battlecruiser needs to be trained as 5, and then the command ship skill itself is really difficult to train. Of all the subcapital ships, I believe these are the hardest to train into. And then making it more difficult is FCs generally don't want you to use a command ship unless you have maximum skills. And when you do have maximum skills, you become a very valuable asset to any group or community that calls for these to make their flying better. Anyways, it actually ended up only being a 20-minute video. Pretty fantastic. If you guys like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one, which, because we got so many likes on the last video, will be a video about my cat. And sorry she didn't pop up when I started talking. Normally she does. We don't have a pet the kitty video, but an entire kitty video is coming. Make sure you guys fly fun, enjoy your time in EVE Online, and I will see you guys in the next one. All right.